Hi there, this is John. We are out at Twinsburg at Crown Hill Cemetery. I want to give you a look at some of the damage that we're seeing out here. This is pretty much the common sight that we're seeing from these trees as we go through here. The storm that ripped through the region last night, I know a lot of people dealing with storm damage and recovery and trying to get everything cleaned up today. Here at the cemetery, you can see they too suffered quite extensive damage, hundreds of trees down throughout. You can see here the National Weather Service will be coming out to evaluate this and see exactly what happened. A lot of times they look for twisting that may have happened as the trees came down, different things to confirm if it was straight-lined winds or if it could have, or if it was a tornado. As you look through here, though, they tell us a number of the grave markers have been disturbed. They have crews that'll be out here. We were working with the cemetery to make sure that everything can be coordinated the best, and also with us out here trying to give them an aerial view of some of the damage that happened. But you can just see these massive trees just absolutely ripped in half, ripped down. You can see tops taken off. As I come around this way over here, you can see all of these trees just down, and you can see just major damage. They said that once they got to about 100 trees, they stopped counting. They said that their goal is to get the trees cut up. As soon as the trees are cut up, what they're going to do then is they're going to start repairing any of the grave markers that may have been damaged. So I'm trying to step over these trees here. But you can see just absolutely ripped to shreds. And a lot of times when we see these types of storms that are out here, we'll see there's damage in this area of the cemetery. We go over to another portion of the cemetery, and there's absolutely nothing there. It's as if the storm completely skipped it. But you can see these trees here that look like they were perfectly healthy and just absolutely ripped right down. What I do want to do is we have the flying peacock that was out here this morning. I'm going to go and I'm going to show you some video that we shot here on our iPad as I switch over, and give you an idea of some of the stuff that we're able to see. But just take a look here as we look in. This is our flying peacock drone that we had up just a short time ago. What I'm going to do is I am going to, you can see as we're taking off here, weather conditions sort of put us down for right now, but we should be back up shortly. Let me just give you an idea. But you can see in here, just take a look at the trees. Gives you an idea somewhat of the scale as well. So I'm going to give you a little bit better of an angle so we're not getting the glare. But you can see here how these trees just throughout. And like I said, there's one area where you'll see tons of trees down. Then we'll go over to another area and we'll see almost no damage at all. Some places the trees are ripped right from the ground. Other places you'll see here the trees are ripped towards the upper sections of the trees. But there's just absolutely just damage everywhere out here as they're working to try and get this all repaired. As I said earlier, we're at Crown Hill Cemetery in Twinsburg, one of the harder hit areas here. It seems this whole region, we're going around, we have crews all out in this area, is there's damage all over. But this, like I said, is some of the video from our flying peacock drone, which we had up a short time ago. We're going to get some of these images back. You can follow the flying peacock on Twitter. We'll be tweeting out some of the video here. We'll also have it on their newscast later this evening. But just wanted to give you an idea, like I said, of the extent of the damage that's out here. See these trees down here as we go around, and we're seeing some of the other damage that's here. Talking to the cemetery, they said gravestone damage, fortunately, is pretty minimum, but obviously the trees creating a mess. They were out here first thing this morning. One of the things that was amazing was we were over with the cemetery officials this morning, and they were showing us that they actually have windows that were blown out from their main office building, just shattered. They were multi-pane, so the outside panes shattered. Unfortunately, the inside panes did not. So, but that gives you sort of an idea of the drone video that we have out here. Like I said, we'll be getting some more of that for you later this evening. But let's just sort of walk over here and I'm going to show you just some of these trees. You can see that, like I said, most of the trees seem to be very healthy. Like we have this pine that's right here, that's right down. Obviously, you also are always in a storm like this looking to see, was there trees that were somewhat in poor health, in poor conditions, and this one here appears to be one that, probably wasn't in the best condition, and really was no match for the storm, as it was just completely snapped in half. This is a common sight that we're seeing right here, is that the trees, it's just right at the base, broken right off. And as I said earlier, the National Weather Service will be looking for, is there twisting? Is there any type of, how was the damage caused? You can see across here just some of the other debris. The cemetery's already done a really good job getting out here first thing this morning. They said their alarm company gave them a call overnight and notified them that the alarms were going off based on the broken windows that they had. So they were out here. They've had their crews working around the clock. They're working to get tree trimming companies out here and have them cleaning this up as well. But you just, once again, look at this. It's just, you can see this tree perfectly healthy and just snapped. You look right next to it, you get another tree that's right there with almost no damage at all. So it's these types of things that we're seeing all over. I know a lot of you have been sending us pictures. You've been calling us with your stories. And just, you can see, this is just a common view. Here's a tree that was completely ripped out by its roots. You can see here, just looking at this, let's come around on this side, and I mean, just absolutely no match at all for this storm. But just unbelievable. And like I said, you go the other portion of the cemetery that's out here, and there really is no damage at all that they have here. So it just depends where you are. We know that a lot of you are cleaning up as well right now, and these are the same things that you're seeing depending on where you are. Let's go back real quick. I'm going to show you. This was off the Flying Peacock just a short time ago, just giving you an aerial view, showing you some of this video coming through here. A lot of this is just raw video that we haven't even had a chance, but I know a lot of you are trying to say, what's this damage? Where is it? I'm not seeing anything at home, but just giving you an idea of, the extent of some of this tree damage, and the video showing, what's down. It's even driving around Twinsburg this morning. There's some areas where you don't see anything. You go down a block or two and there are trees everywhere. It was about a 3-mile drive that we did in Twinsburg to get over to the cemetery. It took us about 45 minutes. So obviously, if you are out and about, use caution. The cemetery did get power back. We know a lot of you are dealing without power. Some of the areas are saying until Wednesday. We could definitely see it take until Wednesday to get that power back up. But just looking here at some of this, just extent of the damage. And like I said, this is all coming from our Flying Peacock drone that we just had airborne just a short time ago. So we're continuing to follow this. I'm going to bring you back out here and just show you. I'm over by some other trees here. Just seeing here how they're just like absolutely snapped off all throughout here as we go through. This seems the pines got ripped down probably the most out here. The cemetery said that their first goal this morning was to try and get all of the roads cleared, so if somebody was coming out here, they'd have accessibility to the different grave sites. They were able to do that within a couple hours. Now it's just a matter of trying to assess the actual damage. They had damage to their main building that they did need to get fixed. There was a grill that was outside that we saw this morning. That grill was tossed probably 100 yards from the building. So just the sheer force that went down. We were talking earlier, they had windows on their buildings that were dual pane glass. Those buildings themselves, the outside panes just shattered. When we first got there, it looked to us as if they had somebody out and maybe they had replaced the glass already. But they said no, it's just, and then when you took a closer look, you could see just that there was outside panes of glass that were, just shattered, and then the inside pane remained, which tells you how quick everything came through here. Just some more of these trees here. But as we were saying, the good news is, as far as they know, most of the grave sites that they checked did not sustain any damage. They said once they get these trees down and cleaned up, they're going to go through and reassess exactly what may have happened out here damage-wise. Any gravestones then at that point they would definitely be out here and working on. But as you see, everywhere you go through here, and I don't want to be walking underneath the trees that are leaning down here, but you can just see how it was twisting. You can see right in the gravestone areas that are right out here. But just absolutely just trees down everywhere. Fortunately, they said they also have the ground level markers that are down, so that did help as well. Although they didn't have any other markers that were destroyed or broken. And as they said, fortunately, there was no injuries out here from cemetery employees. Everybody, being that it happened overnight, nobody was hurt. But that's the view out here in Twinsburg. We're going to be going around to some of the other harder hit areas. You can follow us all afternoon. Follow the Flying Peacock on Twitter as we're tweeting out different videos. We'll have these in our newscast throughout the day. But from Twinsburg, that's us for right now.